What if we don't get any type of additional relief going forward in the form of a stimulus check, adult tax credit, or any type of financial assistance? That's exactly what we're going to be covering in this video, as this is a really good question that somebody left me just the other day, and I want to cover it for you in this video. Let's get right into it. But if you haven't done so yet, or if you're new here, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and so I can keep you updated every single day with all of the latest details, as information is changing very rapidly right now, and I'm right here by your side doing all this research. I distill it all down into these short videos because, as I like to say, all of this is going to impact us in some way, shape, or form. We need to know what's going on out there and what we can take advantage of with all of these programs, the benefits, any money, anything else that may come up. We certainly want to take advantage of it with all of these changes that continue happening every single day. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below, and let's get right into this. All right, so I do want to talk about this because this was actually a really good question that popped up down in the comments section just the other day, and I thought, that's actually a really good question, and we should really talk about this as a community and see what's going to go on here. So let me talk about what this question was. Now again, I don't have the exact question in front of you, so I'm kind of going to paraphrase what exactly was asked, but essentially the person reached out and said, what if we don't get any type of a stimulus check going forward? What if we don't get any type of financial relief going forward? Now I'm going to add to that and say, what if there's an event where maybe we don't get a stimulus check? Maybe there's not an adult tax credit. Maybe there is no type of financial relief in any way, shape, or form to anybody. Then what? Let's talk through that because we need to better understand this. So as of right now, we currently know that Congress is working on the stimulus package. There's actually a couple different packages that they are currently working on right now. Is there going to be a check in them? Now again, this is the big trillion-dollar question that all of us want to know the answer to. Is there going to be a check? Honestly, nobody knows at this point. It's way too soon to know all this. They're still working on all the details. Anything could happen at any given point, which I've talked about so many times in previous videos. So we certainly cannot give up faith quite yet, considering the current landscape and everything going on right now, not just COVID, if you know what I mean, what else is going on. If you've been watching all the news and everything, there's a lot of scary things that are happening right here, right now, right? So there's a lot of stuff going on, and we need to take all of this into consideration. What if, in the event when they work through this package, what if there isn't any type of relief in there? And what if they just kind of stiff us and say, yup, sorry, you're on your own? Well, then what? All right, let's talk through this, because obviously we could look at this and say, well, obviously we're just going to be on our own, nothing. Well, there are a few different programs that we can lean on, that we can talk about. And again, I've covered all these in previous videos, so we don't really need to go into great detail. But let's briefly talk about what it would mean going forward if there is no type of additional relief in the form of a stimulus check, adult tax credit, or any other type of financial assistance that they may want to give it some fancy name. Honestly, the name doesn't really matter. It's all about the green stuff and the digits in our bank account other than zeros and a decimal point, right? Yeah, so here's basically what would happen. We'd go back to situations just like what we were in probably 2019 and early 2020 before the first stimulus checks were ever actually distributed. However, a couple major changes. Number one, our favorite word as of recently, which actually is not our favorite word in any way, shape, or form, but it is that I word that we've talked about so much lately, inflation. So here's the difference. We would go back to a probably type of 2019 type situation where we just be kind of on our own, floating on our own, and that's kind of how we're living. However, the difference would be we'd be contesting with major inflation. So remember the days of late 2019 or possibly early 2020? Oh boy, those were the heydays, right? We could go in and actually buy a loaf of bread for maybe $2, a gallon of milk for $2.50. I don't know, something like that. And there weren't bare empty shelves everywhere you look at the grocery store. And the little items that are currently on the shelves right now weren't inflated by 10, 15, 20, 30%, or maybe even more in some instances. So that's kind of where we'd be dealing with right now, right? So basically what would be happening is we'd be revisiting the situation where everybody's essentially on their own, just like what we were back in 2019 and early 2020. The difference is we'd be paying significantly higher prices on the same thing that we always have been, and the supply of all these goods would be less. There'd be less availability, therefore driving prices even higher. So basically, the purchasing power of our dollars, just like we've talked about previously, would be depleted significantly. So we'd essentially be asked to live on essentially the same amount of money. Of course, it's gone up a little bit because of the cost of living adjustment. For those of you receiving fixed income like Social Security, SSDI, SSI, VA, survivors, retirement, all of these benefits. So the cost of living adjustment has adjusted a little tiny bit, but realistically, let's be real. We all know how that whole thing shakes out. Every single time, they pretty much just take it all away in the form of Medicare Part B premiums and reduction in other benefits. So let's just call it a wash, because it's probably not, any benefit in any way, shape, or form. So essentially what it all comes down to is we're all basically living on the same dollars that we had, call it 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and we're trying to pay prices that are anywhere between, let's just say, 5% to 30% higher on the same things that we were buying 2 years ago. So is that a recipe for success? No, absolutely not. Not even close. Which is why I continue coming back in so many of my videos and I say, I'm completely shocked. I would be completely shocked if they don't offer some type of additional relief. Now again, could it be a stimulus check? It could be. Could it be an adult tax credit? It could be. Could it be some other type of fancy name tax credit? Probably. That's why I'm saying I would be completely surprised if there's not something like that, especially focused on the low income and the fixed income, simply to help out all of these individuals right now, because you don't need to be a world-class economist. You don't need to be a rocket scientist. You don't need to be a brain surgeon to figure out that inflation has gone up, purchasing power has gone down, therefore the equation is less money and more higher prices equals less products and services, right? You don't need to be like the smartest person in the world to figure it out, that the dollars that we have in our pockets today and in our bank accounts get us less products and services right now. Therefore, the standard of living is much more difficult to maintain. To maintain the same standard of living that we were living in back in, say, late 2019, early 2020, before this whole COVID situation went down, it would be very hard to achieve that these days on the same amount of income. It'd be almost impossible. You couldn't do it, right? We would need probably 25 to 30% more income every single month to maintain that same standard of living that we were experiencing in late 2019. I think we could probably all agree on that, right? So let me give you a quick example. If you're receiving, let's just say, $1,000 in income, whether it's from, SSDI or Social Security or any kind of thing. Let's just say, for a quick example, if your income or your, monthly income is $1,000, and that's what it was 2 years ago. I think a lot of us could probably agree right here today, we would probably need $1,250, possibly even $1,300 every single month to maintain that same standard of living that we were living on 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, on $1,000. It'd probably be the same thing to get the same products, the same food items, the gas in our car, literally everything has gone up, right? And it's kind of funny. I mean, funny in that not so funny way. Every time you go somewhere and prices are higher, like, what changed? Why are your prices higher? And everyone is always, oh, inflation. Inflation. Seriously? On everything? Right? Like even a digital product. Have you seen that lately? Recently, I've been looking at a few different digital products like, courses online, things online that are digital that have nothing to do with inflation. Prices have gone up. Why? And they claim to say, oh, it's inflation. Seriously? On a digital product? There's infinite amounts of digital products. There's no limit to the number of digital products that can be developed, right? Infinite. Therefore, there's not a supply issue, but still inflation gets it. Just kind of it seems kind of like an easy excuse to raise prices, right? I don't know. Anyway, that's from my experience. But when I saw this question just the other day from that person reaching out saying, what if there's a situation where we don't get any type of relief going forward? That is a situation. I mean, that could be a reality. Of course, we have no clue what actually may come out of all this. And the stimulus packages and everything else that they're currently working on right now, very slow, by the way, Congress. That is a possibility. If there is nothing that comes out of this that helps the American people, I don't know. we could just maybe call it just a major epic fail. I don't know what else to call it. I think we should call it the epic fail, because that's literally what it would come down to. People trying to live on trying to maintain the same standard of living on essentially 20% less dollars, 25% less dollars. It's the same amount of dollars, but my point is, it's the purchasing power of those dollars is 20, 25% less than it was a couple years ago. And again, many people would probably say, oh no, inflation was only, 7%. Yeah, okay, that's what they tell us. But let's be real. We all know that inflation is way higher than 7%. That is an average across the board when it comes to a basket of products, right? That's how they figure inflation. It's a basket. It's not on everything. So one product might be up 1% inflation. Meanwhile, 5 other things might be up 20, 25, 30%. It's an average across the board. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm guessing that the vast majority of us in this community do not buy the same things every time we go to the store. I'm guessing all of us buy something very, very different, right? Everybody has their own personal preferences. We all buy something very different. Therefore, inflation is hitting all of us very differently, right? But for the most part, we're all seeing inflation on a big scale right now. We're all paying significantly more for the same old things every single day. So, anyway, I thought that was a very thought-provoking question when that person asked just the other day about what if we don't get anything? Well, if we don't get anything, then we're just going to call it the big epic fail, and I guess going forward, we're just going to have to fend for ourselves. And, we've been doing that for a long time now, but considering this whole situation and everything going on right now, it seems fiscally responsible for Congress to approve something to at least help out the lowest income. Everybody? No, not everybody. Not everybody needs assistance right now. I think all of us can probably agree on that. We've talked about that many times here on the channel in separate videos. Not everybody needs assistance right now. Higher income people, they don't need it. They simply don't need it. We've seen it from all the reports. It's the lower income. It's the fixed income. These individuals are the ones who need the support. Ongoing. Let's say that much too. A one-time check would be great, but ongoing payments would certainly be much more helpful, at least to get everybody out of this time throughout what's going on right now. And when I say ongoing payments, it wouldn't even need to be $1,400, $1,200. Even a simple ongoing payment of, say, $250 or $300 a month would be life-changing for a lot of people. That would help alleviate a lot of different issues that are going on right now, just like those child tax credit payments that were going out in the second half of 2021, right? So those helped out a lot of people. And actually what's interesting is now that those stopped as of early 2022, I can't tell you how many reports and articles that I see popping up right now saying the payments stopped. Millions of people were relying on them. They were starting to rely on that money during the second half of 2021, those 6 months where that money was coming in, they were relying on it. And then early in 2022, when it ended, a lot of these millions of people don't even know what to do now because they relied on that extra $250, $300 per child per month going forward through the second half of 2021. And now it's like they don't know what to do. They have a deficit. They're looking at the month saying, hey, we were really relying on that extra couple $100 a month, and now we have no clue what to do anymore. We're getting in over our head now. So, yeah, same old situation for a lot of people, right? So, I don't know. I feel like Congress maybe painted themselves into a really tight corner with everything over the last couple of years here, and I feel like you can't really pull the punch bowl away now. You guys got to keep going with this stuff, at least to help out the most vulnerable and highest risk individuals. So, again, that's just my opinion, but maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, but I'm just saying you got to look out for the people. Just like the president said, we've quoted him many times, where he said, no older adults or people with disabilities should need to live in poverty in America, which also happens to be the most vulnerable and highest risk group out there right now, as we've discussed many other times, and as they have also mentioned. So I feel like you got to look out for those people. But anyway, this is just my opinion. So very interesting question for those of you, or for that person who asked. Hey, thanks for the question. You know who you are. You're probably watching this video. I've seen your name down below a lot in a lot of the videos. So thanks for that. But yeah, I think it's very interesting. If we get nothing going forward, wow, it's going to be ugly. I don't know. I'm just going to say that much. Let's just say it's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be ugly going forward if we don't get relief, because there's going to be a lot of people that are struggling, and I don't know. I think it's going to be very weird if Congress doesn't do something. But again, that's just my opinion. I have no say as far as what Congress does. They don't listen to me, clearly, because we've asked them so many times for some kind of relief, and they don't do anything. But hopefully we can get something out of them here soon. Either way, I'll keep you posted with all the latest details. Again, I know this is just kind of like a ramble fest in this video, but you know what? I wanted to come back and lay this all out for you because I think it's kind of interesting, and I thought that was a really good question, and I kind of wanted to throw down my opinions on this and just let you know where I currently stand on this and what may come of all this if we get absolutely nothing. So if you're interested in checking out the fan club, Corey, my wife, will be back here in just a minute with the new updated list of shoutouts for those names pulled right out of the fan club. If you want to check that out, there's a link down below in the description. Otherwise, at the top of the comment section, there will be a pinned comment from us as well. You can check out the link there and join the fan club if you would like to join the list for shoutouts right here in our videos. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe down below. It's totally free to do so. Share this video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other nearly 2,100 videos right here on the channel. And Corey, take it away. Congratulations to all the shoutouts in this video, and I'll catch you again later in the next one, and I hope you enjoyed the Ramble Fest. All right, Corey, take it away. I'll see you later.
Today's shoutouts include Sherry Bledsoe, Maria Grindstaff, Tess-Ann Riggs, Nadine Skidmore, Patricia Danko, Kathleen Ingram, and Rebecca Quinn. Thank you for being members of the fan club.